Five, four, three, two. Hello and welcome to 4,000 and Counting, brought to you by Hurricane e-bikes. I'm Watty, this is Mark, and well, today's a good day. We've spoke about it on Facebook Live, but the first time bringing it over to YouTube onto the podcast. The Solway Sharks are now a National League team. They are under new ownership. They have a new general manager. They have player signings. It's all been going on. They've come in hot. The social media has been epic. Where should we start? There's a whole bunch of Solway topics, mate.
I think we start with the GM first of all.
Mr. Peacock, Craig Peacock, retired from Glasgow back in April, and he's wasted no time in getting to management. He's going to be leading the charge alongside Robbie and those fellas. Try to make a successful run at this National League, and if anyone can do it, he can do it. He's been around the game for a long time, very experienced, great player in his own right, and yeah, I'm excited to see what he brings to the Sharks.
It's a great bit of business, isn't it? You know, he's been up in Glasgow for a while now, and when you're going to talk of having sort of connections two ways, and you've got a relationship with a guy like that, going to Solway is surely going to benefit Solway in that respect.
Yeah, it's interesting. They've obviously got new ownership. The ownership were in talks to try and take over the clan from Neil Black. That hasn't happened. So the fact that they were looking at an Elite League franchise and I've ended up with a National League franchise, I imagine they're going to have a couple of quid to spend.
You would think so, wouldn't you?
Well, if you're going to be teeing up for an Elite League season and 14 imports, 15 imports, ITC cards, housing and all that, then you got to have some deep pockets. I know along the way the money comes back and the fans put the money in the pocket and things like that. But to be able to be in a position to go and do that can only be a good thing for Solway.
Definitely. Also, the fact that these were guys that were looking to essentially buy into an Elite League team.
Yep, exactly.
So to go into the National and go for Solway, bring Solway into the National as such, it obviously says that the model must be very good in Solway. As we've spoke about on here before, it's a really good setup, and I'm looking forward to going there with you.
Yeah, it's going to be fun when we go up there. Tomo has already assured me that we'll drink in the bar for free, so I like that. But yeah, we seem to have a good relationship with Solway. Hopefully they'll be streaming their games next year and we'll get access to be able to watch those and bring you guys more content based around the Sharks and their venture into the National League. They're going to be interesting. I can't wait to see who they sign. They've made a couple of returning signings already. And for me, it's when they start announcing players that weren't there last year. When they start announcing their imports, is Peake's gonna go to the well with guys he's maybe played with over the years? Does Gapper go back? I mean, I don't see why he wouldn't. He's been very good for him already.
Yeah.
He was lights out for them in the game against Streatham to win the national title this year. And if they bring in two, let's say, higher end imports alongside him, I think they'll be doing just fine.
Yeah, they've got their roster already, even in the north, was decent, very decent. And when you're competing and beating teams like Streatham in the final so convincingly, it says a lot about the roster that they have. So I expect quite a lot of the guys from last year will be there. Not to say I know anything that's going on. I imagine a lot of the guys that were there last year will be rewarded.
Left, haven't they?
Yeah.
Jonathan being on full time with the Stars. Hull's just signed one of their D-men. And, I imagine a couple more probably leave, but you're right. I think there's going to be a good nucleus from the boys that were there.
Yeah, you've got Struan. I think Struan was announced yesterday or a couple of days ago as well. He's been there, I think his whole career.
Yeah, for a long time. So he'll be back. I imagine Ross Murray's back. Hepburn, obviously he done very well when he stepped in for the Phantoms. Ended up with an NIHL Cup winner. I was going to say medal, but I don't know if he got a medal. But yeah, to be able to step in and do that for the Phantoms and play at that level against the best team in the league, he's got a taste for it now. He's going to want to be playing, or he's at least going to want to be battling for a spot there. I don't know if they potentially look at bringing in another experienced head at the back. We talked about it on Facebook. 3 guys that week moved from Scotland down to National League clubs, with Milton Keynes picking up one, Bristol picking up one, and Hull picking up one. Very well timed announcements by those teams before this Solway deal got done. But who do you see? Obviously, we speculated maybe some elite league boys that would suit up. Craig Peacock, try that again. Craig Peacock being one of them. You know, Barry McKenzie. There's other kind of guys that are getting towards the end of their elite league career, but could do a very, very good job in the National League. Obviously, Peaks has now ended up being GM, so he's not going to be lacing up the boots, I don't imagine. Is there anyone that kind of springs to mind that you think might go there? Hayward was potentially one if
Hayward was one, but he's been...
If it was over the line a bit earlier, like when we put the video out at first, potentially that could have happened.
Yeah, I think Barry, I'd like to see Barry there. Although if he's given the chance in the elite still, then fair play. You know, he deserves to be there for his hard work ethic and just his overall game. And
but he said he was working full time, right? So
yeah, so it would be a great fit, and what a great addition that would be. All that, yeah, I know they've got experience already, but when you've got a guy that's played top level experience, he'd
600, 700 games. I can't remember. We talked some hundreds of elite league games. Ridiculous number of elite. We talked about it on the pod with him and Rayner. I have to go back and find out, but yeah, a crazy number of elite league games. Guys like that, I would be interested to see if any young boys from the Clan, from the Flyers, from the Stars end up on 2 ways with Solway.
Honestly, I thought Reece Cochrane would have ended up. He was a guy that I had in mind if Solway went to the National, but he was picked up by Bristol.
Yeah, well, they needed someone to replace Reece Kelly, who's departing. They've obviously lost Ben Solder as well, so it's a bit of a D-men merry-go-round. I know we spoke about it on Facebook, so we won't beat it to death on here. But there's going to be a lot of movement now, and I wonder if some guys are maybe a little bit disappointed that they signed a little bit too early, and they could have potentially been a Solway shark.
Well, it's the National, isn't it? The contracts aren't worth the paper they're written on.
It is true, but you don't want to be that guy that signs for a coach.
No, definitely not. I don't think any of the guys would do that either, would they?
Yeah. No, I don't think they would either. But with the Sharks coming into the league, obviously there's been talk about travel. We've spoke about travel on previous videos with not only Grubby, with Tomo, with Ross Murray, on some of the videos we've done ourselves. The travel, yeah, do you know what? It's not the best, and it's not the worst. It's 6 hours for the maximum team, which is Romford, and I do get it. That is a trek. But some of the other trips, Bristol, 5 hours, you know, when you're looking at, and these are going by Google Maps. Yes, it's done by car, not by bus. It is going to be extended, but it's the same for every trip. If you do Bristol to Hull and then Bristol to Dumfries, it's like an hour and 5 minutes different. Yeah, it's more mileage, but it is what it is. The thing that I looked at, and I put the comparison on our Twitter. Remember back in the Scimitars days when I was playing for the Isle of Wight?
Yeah.
Well, the boys were going from the island to Sheffield, and the Sheffield boys were going from there to here, and there was other long trips as well. There was no one was ever bitching them. Oh my god, fucking travel! The guys got work. No one was ever bitching. You just got on and done it. Like, oh, we got Sheffield away. Don't get me wrong, it's a pain in the ass because it's a long trip, but you only have to go there 3 times a year. It wasn't like you were there every week. For these Solway boys, there's going to be a lot of trips down south.
Yeah.
Hopefully a lot of double headers. That's going to be the best way of doing it. We spoke about this before, but, you know, you play Bristol, which is the furthest. If they, I don't know, on a Saturday night, and then Swindon on a Sunday, and then you come back up. And then you could also do Raiders and Slough. That's fairly close. There's ways that they could do it. Telford and Peterborough, or Milton Keynes and Peterborough, however you want to look at it. There's definite trips where they come down, do Sheffield, Leeds, and cut down on costs. It's obviously gonna increase in hotel bills. But we've spoken about this before. If they're smart, they'll be approaching hotels and saying, look, we're going to be on the road this amount of times this year.
You've got a team guaranteed to stay with you every weekend. They're going to use the bar. Holy smokes, it's going to be.
Yeah, you have fans staying there and all sorts of
Yeah.
stuff. Like, if they're smart about it, they'll get a deal in place. And even if it's just like a Premier Inn, if they get a central deal with Premier Inn where instead of it being fucking 50 to 60, 70, 80 quid a night, they've got £40 a night guaranteed all year at wherever they stay, as long as it's a Premier Inn. So, when they come down to Swindon and Bristol, if they stay in one of those cities, it's that. And then if they go to Slough, it's the same. And then if they go to Manchester, Sheffield, it's the same. Just if they need to do double headers and that can cut down, not only will it cut down on fuel, it cut down on travel for the boys. Sitting on the bus, it's fun. On the way back from trips and you've won, it's good fun. When you're on the way to trips and you're playing cards and shooting shit, it is good fun. But it's also taxing. It is also taxing having to travel everywhere by coach. So if they can cut down on that, that's great. And the same thing for the fans. It's going to be fantastic fun getting to get on the bus, go up to Solway, potential double header. You have a night out on the Saturday. That's a good time for the fans. And it's brilliant team bonding as well. Anyone will tell you, when you do these hotel trips and stuff like that, it's great team bonding.
Yeah.
It's also fun. Lots of fun. But yeah, I don't know. We might see. Remember, like when teams started going to Vegas for like double headers and stuff, they would always lose the second game. How many second games do you reckon Solway are going to win? Let's look back on this in 9 months or fucking 12 months, whatever it is. How many second games of double headers did Solway win? We'll see. So many boys been getting after it on the Saturday. But again, though, you can't. Yeah, it's semi-pro, pro, whatever you want to call it. But if you've been working 5 days in a week, you've been looking after the kids, you've been practicing, and then you play on a sit on a bus for 6 hours and then play a game. You're allowed a couple of fucking pints after. Leave them alone.
Just human beings at the end of the day.
Exactly. And the boys like a couple of beers to unwind. No one's saying they're going to go out and actually get crazy, but it will be interesting to see that. I think Solway will compete. There's obviously Hull have got a lot better. The Raiders look to be getting better. Bees, I don't know about them as of yet. Bristol, again, I don't know too much about them. We'll see how they go. But it's going to be interesting to see where they fit in the mix.
Yeah, I would say they're going to be around Raiders level.
Okay. So if they're around
that's
level,
by the way,
like
that's
6, 7, 8, maybe.
That's shite talk, by the way. I'm a bit too soon saying that. I just feel that with what they've got and what they could get, I should give it some time first before making a statement like that. But
yeah, I know.
I just have this feeling they're going to be around that level.
It'd be interesting to see if they are, because they're going to have their pick of the Scottish talent, hopefully. We've got the best players in the SNL, maybe some from the elite, or whoever it may be, that want to crack at this thing. Because that's the other thing, they're going to have to want to. They're going to have to want to crack at it. They're going to have to want to commit and travel and everything else. So you're going to have the right mindset going in. And Grubby's no fool.
Yeah,
he'll have it all ironed out. Peaks will have it ironed out. They'll have some good guys going there, and they'll have a mix of experience, a bit of youth. How they're going to get on with the new age cap. We've obviously heard about guys potentially losing jobs in that National League due to the age cap. Couple in Sheffield. I can only imagine Josh Martin's been let go of the Bees for that very reason. You don't release that guy otherwise. He's been there for a while. Do you know, just seeing like a few guys like that, Lawrence Taylor and Swindon. There's guys that are getting let go, and this is going to be the reason why. Now, I don't know how Sharks are going to deal with that. I don't particularly know the age of their players on the roster. But I know there's a couple of older bodies in there. Will that affect how they go into the lineup, who they bring in? There's going to be some tough decisions that have to be made, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see how this thing pans out.
I'm excited, but also I really feel for those guys that have to be dropped because of this age restriction. When we did the initial video, when the statement first came out, I think we were quite like, yeah, that's not bad. But thinking about it now, when I've heard of, I'm not going to name the player, there was a player that I've been told could potentially be cut from a team purely because of the age restrictions. I mean, that's a sucker punch, especially if the teams around him that would suit him, like logistically, don't have a space for him, then potentially he's lost out on being able to play the level he wants to play at.
Yeah, I think that's a video within itself, actually. We should probably cover that topic in more depth. But do we have anything else on Solway? Because that's a great point to finish with, I think, leading into that.
Yeah, nothing else. Just welcome Solway, and I think it's going to be great.
Yeah, I agree. Guys and girls, we're almost at the 1,000 subscribers. Easy for me to say. Mark, please do subscribe. About 50 to 70% on a regular basis of people that watch your videos aren't subscribed. So if you can do that, that'll be helping us out big time. Stay tuned for more content. Shout out to Hurricane e-bikes. Go check them out. Link in the description below. But for now, it's been another episode. We'll see you again very, very soon. Peace.
Go further, go faster, get fitter with Hurricane e-bikes. The only UK company to offer a lifetime warranty covering battery, LCD screen, motor and all components. No servicing costs, no need to buy, no interest costs, no long-term agreement, no maintenance costs, no worries, lifetime warranty. How it works: you select your bike, you add accessories, you confirm details, and it's on its way. And don't forget to tell them that you were sent by 4,000 and counting. So go to www.hurricane.bike and you can find more information there.
Don't forget, it's Hurricane with an E. Check them out right now.